Pleiadian Message 3, The Experience of a Complex Purpose. Gosia. Where does it come from? Who created it? Swaruu, the Prime Directive, was created as part of the original laws and rules when the Planetary Federation was founded, approximately 850,000 to 900,000 years ago in linear Earth time. It is a set of rules to avoid or prevent a relentless interference by a foreign race with another civilization that is in a lower state of development, whether intentional or unintentional. Gosia. What federation? What is that? Swaruu, the Federation, is a group or cooperative organization that now has nearly 500,000 races and civilizations. It was the result of the need for cooperation and forming alliances during the Great Expansion, when countless races, including ours, were being exterminated by the Orion Council and its members, most of whom were reptilian.
Gosia. Is the Orion Council reptilian?
Swaruu. Yes. At that time, the Orion Council was completely negative, but now, almost 2 million years after its founding, the original leaders of the Orion Council have evolved into benevolent and positive beings. They are our friends and are helping with the uplift and liberation of Earth. I am talking about the supreme reptiles, the Alpha Draconians. Gosia. So the Alpha Draconians are positive now, is that right? Swaruu. Not all of them, but most in this quadrant of the galaxy are. Note that the Reptilians Draconians are one species, and the Alpha Draconians are another. Gosia. Okay, let's put that aside for a moment. Going back to the Prime Directive, what set of rules was established? The law of non-interference is one. What are the others? Swaruu. There are others, but they are not as important now, such as rules for trade, migration, and starship travel corridors. Now, it must be mentioned that the Prime Directive has become known on Earth, but the Cabal has hidden it under the legends of Star Trek. Many skilled researchers on Earth have come to know about this, and the Prime Directive is very real. For example, Dolores Cannon. From this, we know that in Hollywood movies, the Prime Directive is meant to prevent the disclosure of the real Prime Directive. It must be emphasized that the concept presented by Hollywood comes from reality, not the other way around. Gene Roddenberry, the creator of Star Trek, talked with a Pleiadian woman in a retreat in the late 1950s. Later, Leonard Nimoy, who played Spock in the show, admitted that some very strange people explained all this to him and told him that these series/movies were made to train and control the public's perception of the Planetary Federation and extraterrestrials. The elites promote it because it gives the public a fantasy, but one that is similar to the real Federation. This is based on the premise that they hide everything in plain sight for esoteric, metaphysical, and karmic reasons. This is how the Cabal operates. They have to tell people everything, and they do, but they do it through mind control so that people understand everything differently. This is not just about Star Trek, but about every level of society. The Cabal must tell people all their plans, because this way the karma, the negative karma, is on the people, not on them. Gosia. Okay. You say they have to tell people everything. Why do they have to do that? Who obligates them? Editor's note. Yuan Wu Shi once said that they tell you 99% of the truth, but mislead you with the core 1%. Swaruu. They obey metaphysical laws, and these laws are also related to the laws that other races obey, and they are directly related to the Prime Directive. But the elites have modified and twisted them for their own purposes. Gosia. Who started all this? The metaphysical laws, the karmic laws, and so on? Swaruu. It's very old, and it comes from the other side. It applies to the spiritual world, and at the same time, to the real 5D. It also includes the Matrix and the 3D Matrix Avatar game. They are all interconnected, and the laws of physics are like the Prime Directive and metaphysical laws. The Prime Directive is based on metaphysical laws. We all reached an agreement with the other side. Both sides agreed on how things should be. Gosia. I have a big problem understanding the Directive's point about not interfering in our affairs because it's clear that ET races have been here before, teaching, sharing, offering technology, and inspiring. Some have even manipulated our genes. So how does that fit with the law? Swaruu. Gene manipulation has always happened, so let's set that part aside for now. Sharing technology and teaching are done by using tricks to bypass this directive. One of these tricks is the current one, where I am giving this information to someone with Lyran origins, using Lyran native technology. We also have to admit that the Prime Directive, both intentionally and unintentionally, is not always followed. So there have been influences and direct contact. Rochelle of Temmer is one example, who tried to reason face-to-face with President Eisenhower.
Editor's note. Rochelle of Temmer is an extraterrestrial from the Pleiadian planet Temmer.
Gosia. Okay, now I have a question about another part of the document. It states, non-interference, as every sentient species has the right to live according to its normal cultural evolution. However, my understanding, and what you've told me, is that our evolution here is not our normal cultural evolution. We've been forced into this particular rhythm of events, so to speak. We've been trapped against our will and natural evolution. Is this why some of you feel you can communicate directly with us, like we're doing now? Because it could be seen as an interference, couldn't it? Swaruu, you're right. This is also one of the most important legal reasons for our military to be stationed here, to help correct this problem. The thing is, it's not as simple as it seems. Because on one level, people are being manipulated by intellectually superior races, playing with Earth humans, but on another, deeper level, the souls who incarnated there did so precisely to have this experience, as a test, to find their way home under manipulation, to remember who they are, to beat the manipulators at their own game, and so on. Gosia, yes, I understand that many souls came here for many different reasons. In some cases, they wanted to experience oppression. It also connects to what we discussed before. On a deeper metaphysical level, it's the creation of consciousness itself. To what extent are the things in life, including the matrix, imposed? And to what extent are they self-imposed? Even an imposed experience can be self-imposed. It's very complex. Swaruu, yes, very complex. I believe it was imposed at the beginning, but then starseeds came in and are now changing the matrix from within. So this part is self-imposed, especially since some starseeds entered the matrix to destroy and change the system from within, while others are just there for the personal experience. So by the way, don't expect those people to wake up anytime soon, because they enjoy the experience. Gosia, okay, so why are these non-interference rules sometimes broken? Swaruu, the prime directive for us and other races, is a set of rules that guide us, a philosophy, not an unbreakable law. It's flexible, and you can skip a given law if the contactee is fully responsible. We consider the prime directive to be just a guideline, a philosophy, not a dogma. It can be broken. Gosia, under what circumstances can it be broken? Swaruu, when the outcome would bring greater benefit to all. But the assessment of whether it should be broken is a very delicate subject. Remember, on one level, intervening on Earth for those who are obviously suffering is justified, but on a deeper metaphysical level, if we intervene, we would be going against the broader desires of the same people. Gosia, I see. About our race, have you broken it before? Are you Pleiadian Tegatans? Swaruu, we've broken it so many times we can't even count. Gosia, have you ever been tried by the legal authorities for this? Swaruu, the body responsible for overseeing this law is the Federation headquarters. Likewise, the Orion Council does the same at their headquarters. Gosia, do they follow the same laws? Or their own? Swaruu, yes, both sides follow them. Gosia, okay. The document also states, no contact or interference is allowed with lesser evolved races unless they are under threat from an external source. We are under an external threat, the reptilians. Right? Swaruu, that's right. Gosia, so why can't we have more interference? I mean, in a more direct way. More direct help? Clearing the matrix here. Just asking. Swaruu, we do interfere, and a lot. Every day. Even being with you now is a form of interference. And there are ships out there actively patrolling your skies. The problem here is that people can't see them. And even though we are powerful here, we can't solve all the problems. However, the matrix is falling fast. Things have to be done in an orderly way, step by step. Cosmologically, it is falling at an incredible speed, but I understand that looking from below, things can be different and seem slow. First, things have to come true. You may be ready for an ascension, or even late for one, but others are not. Editor's note. This probably refers to the 3D suppression system on the moon failing rapidly. Gosia. Yes, I do feel that a lot is happening behind our backs, like preventing a massacre in 2012. Swaruu. Since then, World War III has broken out about 6 times. We did intervene in the massacre, doing our best, and everywhere. Many events almost happened. The degree was mitigated. We have shot down missiles from the sky countless times. They never reached their targets. Gosia, what were the targets of the missiles? Swaruu, different targets, densely populated areas. To start a war. The most recent one was last month when a missile heading for Hawaii was intercepted. It was supposed to start a war with North Korea. Gosia, who launched it? Swaruu, it was controlled by a U.S. submarine under the control of the reptilian cabal. But the fact is, we can't let most people on Earth think that we did everything, otherwise we will be seen as saviors again. This battle must be won by the people of Earth. There are also some esoteric issues here because there's a group of people who incarnated together to leave together, and it's their game to experience something negative. Editor's note. On January 13, 2018, there was a false alarm about a ballistic missile in Hawaii. Some believe the missile was actually shot down by aliens. So we can't interfere many times. The problem lies in understanding and assessing when we can and when we shouldn't intervene. This is never easy. Sometimes it's obvious, but other times it's a big debate, and many times we do have time pressure, so we have to make a decision in an instant. Mainly fighter crew members, such as deciding whether to destroy a missile. Gosia. Okay, so thank you for everything you're doing. I guess it's just that most people here are unaware of all this. They are experiencing a lot of pain on different levels, and they want to see you participate more openly. There is a lot of cruelty and suffering here. Swaruu. Most of the suffering people there are not real. They are just a program to evoke an emotional response in real people. Gosia. Wow, that's a powerful statement. I really want to discuss the topic of non-real people in the near future. Swaruu. Real people do suffer, but they have a script before they go there, and the script is controlled by themselves. The script clearly states the boundaries of suffering. Everyone meticulously designs the script for personal reasons. It is fixed unless you decide to step out of the automatic life mode, which most people are in, to control everything you want to experience. The script jumps to manual mode. Gosia. Why would they go through something cruel and terrible? Why would a soul want to experience that? Swaruu. Because from another perspective, things are different, and it also depends on the perspective of the incarnating race. From our perspective, this could be a terrible experience for you or us, but from the perspective of others, it's just a desired experience. This is hard to accept, but it is the truth. There are indeed some souls who came in with such plans. In fact, we are against these plans because it prolongs the problem, and to a large extent, they also harm the interests of others. But this is beyond our jurisdiction. Gosia. But no matter what perspective you look at it from, pain is pain, isn't it? Swaruu. I'm afraid not. In 3D, it's pain, and it's also another experience, an experience we want. Pain and terrible experiences are just a subjective view that we agree on. Gosia. Yes, but you do feel it. The experience is real. Swaruu. Yes, the experience is real because you are real. Gosia. Okay. One last question, and a comment about the Prime Directive. It also mentions not interfering with less evolved races, but when 3D was placed, as we'll explain in the next chapter, we are not a weak race. We are you, Lyrans. So we are not a lesser race. 3D was artificially placed, so we are not in a naturally evolving society. So your so-called interference is justified. Swaruu. Correct. That's also why we intervene. Because you are an artificial subrace placed there by others. However, from a higher perspective, it is also voluntary, because from a higher realm, everyone agrees to experience what they are experiencing now. Ultimately, there are no victims here. It's a cosmic carnival,